Good morning, everybody, and a happy Thursday morning to you. Oh, the drama just continues, and we are chock full of information and video. And I actually have some news today about Harry that has nothing to do with what went on in California. I know, I'm getting ill of it. So let's just jump in and cover everything that we have, shall we? There's a lot, so let's go. We're going to start off with King Charles. He had an audience on the 14th with the Prime Minister of Iraq, Mohammed Shiad Sudani, and the Ambassador of the United Kingdom to Iraq, Irfan Siddiq. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Also present was the Ambassador of Iraq to the United Kingdom, Mohammed Jafar al-Sadir. Next up, we have Princess Anne, the Princess Royal, one of the hardest working members of the royal family. She officially opened up a new Coast Watch station in Norfolk. Now, this station, they've already been involved, according to the article, in more than 40 incidents, including calling out the hovercraft for 4 people cut off by the tide the day after the station opened in 2022. And they began operating from a trailer, and they raised the 40,000 pounds to build the station. They have 30 watchkeepers that now work there. Princess Anne was greeted by children from nearby primary school and local dignitaries, and then met station manager John Allen and volunteers John and Hillary Warwick. Very nice. And then she got to see the new building. There were eco features like solar panels and ground source heat pumps. Pretty cool stuff. It's sustainable. And after visiting the station, she went to a reception at a nearby golf club. It was then that the Princess Royal unveiled the plaque to mark her visit. Oh, she's definitely going to earn the hardest working royal again. All right, let's move on. Love it. All right, next up, Princess Charlotte. Back at Christmas, it was reported that she was wearing a necklace that had been designed by Cressida, but now they're saying that's not true. And the necklace actually came from like Marie Claire. It was like one of these really cheap stores. Love it though. All right, next up, a very happy 80th birthday to Her Royal Highness Princess Michael of Kent. She gave an exclusive interview to Majesty magazine. She is featured in their January issue about her family, her health, and that the fact that her husband can still make a contribution to royal life. I love it. Let's move on. And also, I let you know yesterday that Catherine went to the cancer center where she had her treatment, and she let us all know at that time that she is now officially in remission. That doesn't mean that the treatment stops. That doesn't mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff in front of her. But I just love the fact that she's now the patron there, and I love these magazine covers that came out. All right, let's move on. Well, I just want you guys to know that Meghan isn't worried about the fires or any of that because she is confident that her show is gonna be a success. The report says that she's so confident it's gonna go well, she's gonna get the accolades she deserves, and some people will finally shut up. She said she's confident in her abilities. Yes, she may be, but the problem is the rest of us just don't like it. And I have to tell you, I don't think I've ever seen a show put out a trailer and get so many thumb downs, you know what I'm saying, as her show has. Sorry. Well, I guess we'll see it in March. You guys know I'm going to take the hit and watch it for you. Let's move on. All right, I needed to touch on this story. Oh my God. All right. One of the royal historians, you guys remember her. Her name is Tessa Dunlap. She spoke out and said, it doesn't matter what the Sussexes do. They're going to end up getting scrutinized, as she calls out Meghan on her timing. She goes, once more, they're damned if they do, and they're damned if they don't. Let me remind you who this woman is. This is the woman, that's her above, with her husband that she met when he was 12. And she was like 19. This is the woman who put this tweet up and a picture of her ticket. Because in case you guys haven't figured it yet, this woman is a massive Harry and Meghan fan. Harry and Meghan can do absolutely no wrong. This is a woman that has told the royal family that even after everything Harry's done, we miss him and the royal family should forgive him and bring him back and just let the water run down their backs like ducks. Blah, blah, blah. So obviously this woman is an idiot. This is also the woman that I've shown you in previous videos assaulted another person on the stage. When she didn't like something they were saying, she actually physically put her hand over their mouth. Now, this is where this woman is an idiot. She goes, no matter what they do, Meghan grew up in Los Angeles. She lives 90 miles away in Santa Barbara. And you have all these other A-listers rushing to LA for the same cause. Holly Berry, Jennifer Garner, but it's Harry and Meghan that are singled out for condemnation. This is the problem. This woman is so thick, she can't figure out what the difference is. So to start with, you have, here's just a perfect example. You have Paris Hilton, who put up she's a huge platform, and she put up how she spent her weekend at Baby to Baby, but her entire video at Baby to Baby was the CEO talking about what they need, the help that's needed. Then Paris Hilton went over to the humane place with the animals and talked about the animals at the Pasadena Humane Society, how they were displaced. She's fostering one of the animals, talking about what you can do to help them. So in case you haven't noticed, the focus is not on Paris Hilton. The focus is on the efforts and other people talking about what they can do. She is using her platform for good. She's showing the donations that are coming in. You know what she's not doing? You know what nobody else did? They didn't do quasi-royal tours through the burned out remnants of other people's homes. I think Nancy Sidley said it best. Paris Hilton is being transparent. She didn't pretend to be caught off guard by cameras. She's showing the charities that she cares about. She's not being vague. She's not trespassing on grave sites also, okay? This is how it's done. Americans respect Paris for paying her dues. She has put years into building her platform. Nobody cares about Harry and Meghan. Miss Dunlap, what you don't seem to understand is that the goodwill of the United States has been used up. We don't care about her anymore. She's a perjurer. Nobody here likes her. We want her out. We want Harry out. So it doesn't matter how much they pop up and try to do good. We want them to go away. Why don't you give them a place to live? I'm sure you'd love to have them in your house. And before you say even one word about Paris Hilton, she raised $800,000 with her nonprofit to help people that are in immediate need. If Meghan wants people in the United States to love her, then she has to, quote, take a leaf out of Princess Catherine's book when it comes to handling grief with dignity. It's like when Catherine went to Southport after the stabbings, right? No media was tipped off, no cameras allowed to witness the meetings. It was very covert, and it was not announced publicly until Catherine and William left. A small media contingency was allowed to briefly film them, and that was it. But that's not the way Meghan operates. She takes cameras with her everywhere she goes. Dignity and privacy are two concepts Meghan won't understand, and for her, no deed is worth doing unless there's cameras around. I mean, they're putting out puff pieces about their special crisis mode evacuation plans for Archie and Lily. Guys, they live 90 miles away. They're not impacted by the fire. They're not, but they're prepped to enter crisis mode. Their security team is organizing a plan, and they're packing essentials for their children. I mean, give me a break. Nobody cares. Really, nobody cares. Now, there's one other thing that came up. We have some video that we're going to look at. Now, this account that you're looking at above is from TikTok, and apparently Harry and Meghan got caught on camera after they thought the cameras were over. So let's take a look. So they're walking away, and there's the girl with the lanyard around her neck, and there's the mayor who stopped to give an interview. Let's look at that again a little slower. First of all, Harry is in the front. He is far away from Meghan. He's not holding her hand. And remember, the girl in the gray with the lanyard around her neck is with them. So the cameras are gone, so they don't need to put on this pretense of the lovey-dovey act and hold hands. Harry has walked off without her, essentially. Now, also, they walk past people that are affected by the fire on the side. There was an elderly man in a wheelchair, if you didn't catch it. And you're going to look to the left. You see the guy with the blue backpack on? He's with them. He just took a step in their direction. That's right. They brought their own crew. The picture is a little better from the press of HRH. So one more time, because I want to make sure you see this. You see the people sitting on the wall? These are people displaced by the fire. You see the water bottles there? Do you see this elderly man sitting there in the wheelchair? They walk right by him without even acknowledging him. And there is a lot of press there, for sure. A lot of news cameras. But the guy with the backpack that takes the step in their direction, I firmly believe is with them. So again, for Miss Dunlap, if you're watching, here's another perfect example. Those other stars didn't bring cameras to follow them around to get footage for later release. Now, in the middle of all of this backlash, remember, Meghan wants you to see as an everyday woman, but also she wants you to call her Duchess. And what people are saying now is she needs to pick a lane. She is out of touch. You know, she could take this out of touch narrative and flip it. But look, nobody likes her. Nobody wants to see anything that she's got. That what she should do is what Taylor Swift or even Diana did. Leaned into their flaws, embrace your missteps, and speak directly to the public without over-polishing your image. Personally, I don't think Meghan's capable of doing that. Let's talk now about Harry's ghostwriter. His name is author Mark McCrum. Now, first, he wrote the foreword for Harry's 2011 book, Walking with the Wounded, and he admits that he never spoke to Harry, that Harry basically just sent him a video of them frolicking around. The story is about 4 wounded soldiers trekking to the North Pole. But, again, he said he never met Harry, and, this is how he wrote the piece, and et cetera, et cetera. He said, when I finally finished it, I had no idea if Harry even read it. And he said it had to get approval from Clarence House. And, he moved on from there. Now, at the same time, he said the gentleman who ghost wrote The Spare clearly had a tougher challenge and a longer struggle. This ghostwriter, that ghostwriter, apparently had significant disagreements with Harry during the editing process. Apparently, there was one passage that Harry wanted to include. A fellow soldier made a dig about Diana, and he wanted to include his retort. And this guy said, listen, it's unnecessary. And they had a very tense fight over Zoom about it. He said he was very exasperated with Harry. They were screaming at each other. I can just imagine. He said that he and Harry, when they weren't Zooming or phoning, they were constantly texting. And he at one point stayed in their guest house. And he said Meghan and Archie kept stopping by with food. I mean, obviously trying to get him to write things that this guy, didn't want. By the way, he had a clause in his contract giving him the right to remain unidentified, but a leaker blew his information out into the public realm. All right, you guys, you know what I want. Put those comments down, make them good. Hit the like and the subscribe button and the bell. Don't forget the thumbs up to help me with my algorithm. Then go down into the description box where you'll find the links to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, my Patreon, which is currently paused, my Amazon wishlist, and a physical address. For those of you who've donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.